So we're going to take you through some of the features of 10.1 today. The first of which is Scene Master. So what I'm going to do, if I hit the record button, create master, and select Scene Master, I'm going to put that just there. So we now have a Scene Master created. Now the way this works is if I have, for example, that look playing on my lights. Now, just to explain this situation, this is the live stage, and when we invoke the Scene Master, our visualizer on Titan is going to turn into our preview of what's going to be happening on our fixtures. So I'll engage the Scene Master, and you'll see it goes purple. Now, for this look that I'm going to be doing next, I'm going to take this fader out here, so that's gone purple, and we're going to put this fader up here. And then now, when we move the Scene Master fader up, we'll see that look happening on our lights. And we can put that back down. So now that look is playing. You can also do this as a timed Scene Master as well. So if we do another look where this is going to come down, and we're going to go back to that effect there. If we press the 5 key and then press the flash button on our Scene Master, that should now fade over 5 seconds to the look that we've asked for. Now, it's not restricted to just playbacks. What we can also do, we'll pick out our BMFLs, for example, and put those at 100%, and you can see they're on there, and we'll put them into that position, and we'll make them white. So now, and we'll take this one down as well, thinking about it. So now that will fade to what we've just programmed there. Feature that's been added is the ability to run playbacks on startup. So we've got this playback here. If we go into its options, we've got run on startup. So we'll select yes to that, and then close our software. Now our software is restarting, and we'll see that that playback is fired once it's loaded the show file. This is particularly useful if you have a venue where the staff there don't quite know how to use the desk, and you just want to have like a default look or house lights or something like that playing. There we go, and that playback's been fired. Another feature of 10.1 is release playbacks by priority. So I've got 4 playbacks set up here. There's this one here, there's this one here, which is a red look on our panels. We've got our beams in blue, and then I've got the stage generics on that fader there. So I'm going to set some priorities on here first of all. So we'll click on the playback, go into options. The first one is going to be normal, the second one we're going to set to high, the third one we're going to set to programmer, and the fourth one we're going to set to very high. If we now fire those 4 playbacks, and then we'll right click or click on the release button, and we're going to release everything from programmer and below. So what this should do is clear everything that's on the visualizer apart from our stage generics. So we'll click release playbacks by priority, and we're left with our stage generics. So what you can also do now is if you put in a time, so 5 seconds for example, and press release key, and we're going to release very high playbacks this time, and we'll do release playback by priority, and it will release that over 5 seconds. We now have a real world cell layout in Attribute Editor. So to explain this, I'm going to go and select my Nexus 4x4 panels and go into Attribute Editor. And as you can see, it's now got my cells laid out as they are on the fixtures. So if we just draw a couple of them on and select the dimmer up to that 100%, you can see that resembles what's on the fixtures. Another useful feature that we've introduced on 10.1 is the ability to use capture in multi-user mode. So what I've got here, if I just have a look on the disk button, go to Titan Net Sessions, and I have a desk connected remotely to my session here. So as you can see, we're firing playbacks there. So let's close that, open workspace window and put capture visualizer on, and you can see this is running full screen on my laptop, and I can fire cues which are on the Quartz desk which I've got connected, and it allows me to use my laptop as a visualizer. So another 10.1 feature that we have is linking shapes to groups. So you can do this on the normal shape generator and also on keyframe shapes. So what I'm going to do is we'll pick our front truss BMFLs and we'll put the dimmer up at 100%, and I'm going to run a simple tilt saw on these fixtures. So create pan and tilt saw, and what we'll do is we'll put a bit of spread on this as well. So we've got our fixtures going back and forth, and what I'll do is record this down to the fader there, clear the programmer. So now if we play this fader, we will see our shape being played back. Because I created that shape from a group, what I'm now going to do is select these other BMFLs, and I'm going to record those into the front truss group. So front truss and merge group into front truss. So now if I clear the program again, we'll play this shape back, and if I put intensity information onto these fixtures, you'll see that they're also playing the shape that we had on our front truss. This is one for the Titan 1 and Titan Mobile users, and has been a very heavily requested feature. When you click the close button on the software now, it comes up with a dialog box asking you if you want to close the software. Another thing you can do in 10.1 is connect to your BPM sources on the wheels. So and also we have edge sync. So I'm going to fire this chase that I've created. I'm going to go into record, create master, and select BPM, and I'm going to put BPM master 1 on here, and just for examples I'm going to put BPM master 2 on here. So if we exit from there, what you can now do is if you select the Q button, you can set on here and then connect to that BPM master here, and then that's connected to BPM master 2. Another cool feature that we've got is edge sync. This is kind of like a jog wheel on a CD player in a nightclub. So say for example the music is playing at the same tempo as your lights, but your lights are firing half a second out of time from the music. With this you can basically nudge the effect starting time back and forth, so your lights will be perfectly in sync with the music. One of the big improvements we've made to 10.1 has been to the BPM engine. I'll give you a quick example of this. So I've got a chase running on here of my BMFLs, and I have a chase running of my beams on here. Now I'm going to go into playback options, and we're going to set this so they're both linked to BPM master 1. So speed source, BPM master 1, and then we'll click on our second chase and we'll do the BPM master 1 as well. Now what I'm going to do with this second chase is I'm going to have this running at times 2 BPM. So they're both linked to the BPM master, so we'll go and record that now. So create master BPM master 1, and we'll put that on that fader there. Now traditionally we had the BPM marked here. What we can now do is go into playback options, and we can change multiplier on fader. So now if we fire our two chases, what you'll notice is first of all they're running in time quantized with each other, but then what we can also do is if we move this multiplier here, everything's staying in time. And then also what you can do is if you use the flash button, it can set the BPM for you as well.
Another feature that's been added in the version 10.1, it's called Lock Startup Show. What it allows you to do is it allows you to lock your current show file from any changes to be done to that, and if they were done, a quick restart or power cycle will completely remove all the things that have been added on the top. This function is quite useful for the occasions when the console or the software is used, say in installations or something similar to that. So how to use that? To do that you have to press the disk button, go to the next menu, one of the menus, at the menu at the end there's an option says Startup Show Unlocked. So by default your show file is unlocked. That means all the changes that you've done will be saved with the autosave, etc, etc. So if you click on this, it will tell you what would you like to do now. So you can say create and lock the show. So what it means is if there's going to, again as I explained before, so any changes will be done to the show file now, and if I restart it, everything is going to be reverted back to the original state up until I lock the show file. So yeah, so that means like if I'll program anything on the console, I'll switch it off, switch it back on again, all these changes are not going to be saved. And if you wanna let's say if you've done any changes and if you wanna then unlock your show file, you go back, the same button, press disk, find this menu, Startup Show and Locked. You click on this, it's going to ask you, would you like to update the show file? That means all the changes you did after you locked it, would you like to add them into the current show file? You can press Update Show, or if it says no, just unlock it for me, you can just press Unlock and it will unlock it for you. In 10.1 we've added another function which is called release key profile for masters. How it works, I will demonstrate to you now. So let's say we've got a cue that's running some effects like this one. Then next to it I've connected a rate master one that controls the speed of it. So if I go with the faders up, you can see it's increased the speed 200%. So what I want to change now is I would like to change one of those buttons to actually do the release. So let's say if I'm on whatever value is, so if I press the button, it will always go to 100% instead of me trying to decrease it using the fader. To do that, you press playback options, click on the rate master, then you go to the key profile and you add the new key profile, and let's give it a name. Let's say master release. Okay, so what you can do is you can say standard masters, and let's change the gray button, and I'm going to change it to release. Then after that I press exit. You can see the name has been changed here, so that means if I raise the rate master to 200% and I'll press the gray button, you'll see it goes back to 100%. So it's a quick and easy way of putting the masters back to the release value. In 10.1 we also added another function called timed flash on cuelists and chases. What it allows you to do is it allows you to set a separate flash in and flash out times on the cuelists and chases. To do that, you need to do two things. So first of all, if you click on your cuelist and then go to the options, you will be able to find the option says flash fade in, flash fade out. So by default it says as in and as out. So what it means, it's going to look at the fade in and fade out times that you set on the cue list. Otherwise you can set your own separate times. Let's say you can say flash fade in time, say 6 seconds, and flash fade out time, say 4 seconds. Then after that, in order to be able to apply for cue list, you need to change the key profile for one of the keys, one of the buttons that we use. So because by default the gray button is actually is go and the blue button is stop. So to change this, you go to handle, go to the key profile, and you can create a new one. So if you click add new, we already did a few things here, but we're going to call timed flash, say 5. I'm going to press enter. Okay, so now here what I can do is I can change what my blue button is going to do. So I'm going to press click on blue key. I'm going to change to timed flash. After that I can just press exit. So now if I raise my fader on the cue list, I'll press go. My first step loaded. So it's got its own separate fading time. So if I put the fader down, you can see that intensity going down. And then I start pressing the blue button, timed flash. If I press and hold, you're going to see it's going to switch on within 6 seconds, flash it, and then I let the button go, the time flash, you're going to see it slowly switches off. So again, let me just show you on the virtual interface. So if I press this button and hold it, it's going to go in 6 seconds as we set it in the playback options, and then as soon as I let it go, it's going to switch itself off in 4 seconds. And again, those settings are not affecting your fade in and fade out that you've set on the cue list itself, so which is good. You can apply the same thing on the chase, and it will work. It will work the same way. And another quite useful feature that's been added in 10.1, it's called indication of priority on wheels when it's overridden by the playback with high priority. So how to show it? So let's say I've got one queue here that is running some effects on the Robin 100 LED beam fixtures. So here, these ones. So let's say if I will set this playback with a very high priority, so if I click on this, go to the options, and I can specify, let's say it's a very high priority, that means it's above the programmer priority level of this playback. So now if I launch it, if I'll try to select the fixtures, 100 LED beams, you will be able to see that the levels has been set by the queue itself, and it shows that it has a priority over the programmer. So that means if I'll try to do something, the system will not allow me to do any changes to that, because the priority is currently dictated by the queue. So very high priority, again, I showed you here. If you look here, the very high priority is considered above the programmer. Therefore, when the playback is running on the very high priority, any changes in the programmer level will not affect it, and you can clearly see that what channels been held off by the playback with the highest priority. So you can see the tilt has got a priority, that means you can't touch it, you can't affect it, but the pan is still affectable. I mean, you can affect it because it hasn't been saved in that playback. We've added another quite nice feature called Open Playback View on Connect. What it means is, when you're running a cuelist or chase and you activate it, normally it connects to your sequence control buttons and your wheels. So, but it would be nice to always, of course, to have the playback view open as well every time you launch your cuelist, just so you see what cuelist you've actually launched, how many steps there, etc. Nowadays you always have to click on the screen, and that will bring the playback view of that cuelist or chase. So how to make it simple to actually open that view along with connecting the cuelist to the sequence control. So to do that, I will show you. So I will completely disconnect the cuelist from the sequence control. You have to go to the user settings. To do that, you hold Avolites button and you press user settings. Then you go to the wheels options, and you will see here there's an option called Auto View on Connect. So if you set it on chases and lists, and you come out, so now as soon as we launch a cuelist, you will see that window will open automatically, and that will be with any chase or any cuelist you do after that. So if I run this chase, you see it changes to that view, and if you have that cuelist, you can just click here and it will open that playback view of that cuelist. Hope you will like it. And another function that's been added in 10.1 is called Select If Key Profile. Select If allows you to select all the fixtures that's been used to create the playback that was used in the playback. So how to do it? You can press Playback Options, then you click on your queue, and then you can go to Handle, Key Profiles, Add New. We can call this as, say, Test 1. Okay. So here you will be able to select, let's say we can make instead of the blue button, instead of swap, we can use the function which is called selective. Now we press exit. So what's going to happen now is, if I will press the blue button of that queue, you will see that it selects all the fixtures that's been used to create that particular playback. So you can apply that key profile to any other playbacks you want except for the masters, and that will allow you to quickly find the fixtures that's been used in creating that playback and that particular playback. This and many other functions, you can find information about them, you can find in the release notes. There's more information about new functions, new features, and changes that's been done, bug fixes, all can be found in the release notes. So thank you for watching our video tutorials, and if you have any more questions, feel free to contact us directly. Thank you and goodbye.